things just really are in the United Kingdom. It really is day by day now. And I kind of, good evening. Sorry, guys, we're streaming. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are triple streaming as usual. We are on YouTube. Yes, we are. We are on X. Yes, we are indeed. And we are on TikTok, which is you fine fellas over there. So the crux of this live stream today, guys, is I'm conscious that I feel that we're going over the same stuff over and over again. But I was sitting there. I was thinking, right, what are we going to talk about tonight? And then this main news started blurting out at me. And like the new immigration laws or rules in the United Kingdom, and I was like, right, I can't not speak about this because this is real and this is affecting everybody in the United Kingdom, and it's absolutely insane. There's always something crazy happening each day. When you think you've seen it all? No. It keeps coming. So before we get onto this live stream, guys, okay, can you do me a real big favor, whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, or X? Can you share the live? Like, comment, subscribe. I don't say this enough. I know I don't. It really helps me out when you guys do that. But right, let's just get onto this then. So for you guys on YouTube, the predominant piece of I do this. Sometimes I do this. All right. When things are really important, I will do this. So this is the document that I'm going to be going through today, guys. Okay. This is from the government's, this is from the government website, the .gov website. You guys can go find this yourselves. I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to be focusing on this today. I'm not going to have this on the screen. I'll take it off the screen in a minute. But what I'm going to do is the biggest overhaul of legal migration model in 50 years. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to close this down in a second. Not the live stream, obviously. I'm going to close down that. In fact, I'm going to do it now, actually. So that's the document that I'm going to be working from, guys, okay? I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to give commentary on what I find in that. And listen, guys, let me just be clear. I'm not a legal expert, but I am an expert. I'm going to give you my opinions on what this means. And if what I've seen so far is true, nothing good's coming, guys, all right? And let's not forget that in a week yesterday, that doesn't even make sense. Next week on Wednesday, we have the new budget. So if you think things are bad now, they're about to get a whole lot worse. So that's what we're talking about this evening, guys. Right, let me turn the chat on. Sorry, guys, I've not got the chat turned on. Sorry. Listen, guys, when I start live streaming, somebody just say, Sean, turn the chat on, because I do forget. Right, so the chat's on. You guys are on. I think we're ready. Before we go on to this, I just want to share this video of this old guy. I don't know who he is. I just want you guys to see this video, because I think I'm going to share with you guys an old guy in a second. And this guy he absolutely encapsulates how people in the United Kingdom are feeling right now. So let's just go straight to this, and then I'll jump onto it.
I'm so fucking angry this morning. I've had to actually delay making this post, because when I was reading and watching migrants celebrating and having a fucking party at formerly RAF base Wethersfield, I was so overwhelmed with anger that I couldn't possibly have done a post without getting totally fucking sidetracked.
So I don't know what he's talking about there. I don't know whether he's talking about the video that we saw previously, or I don't know if migrants are now cheering and having parties because of this new immigration law.
Because I'm almost doing now, because I'm so fucking angry with this government. How fucking dare they? They've got fucking loud music playing. They've got fucking lights up in the ceiling. They've got food and drink. Where the fuck is it coming from, and who's paying for it? Oh, you and I, because we're stupid enough to let these fucking people in this wonderful accommodation do this, celebrating at the expense of the British taxpayer. Now, you and I know there are veterans out there who are living on the street. It's freezing fucking cold today here in the UK. In some places, the temperature dropped to -5 or 6.
For me, for me, I've seen this. I saw it today, actually, outside, I think it was Asda. So I don't usually go to Asda, but there's some things you like they Asda do those pizzas. They do like 2 for $5 of those pizzas. So I do like going and getting one of those fresh pizzas, like a couple of those fresh pizzas. The girls love them. I walked into Asda, and there was 2 homeless people, like left and right, asking for change. And it's really starting to grate on me now. This is really starting to grate on me, knowing that. And you know what? Those people are probably never going to pay tax in their life. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being honest. If you're in a situation where you find yourself homeless, you're probably not going to be the high taxpayer. And that's just the reality. And I get that, and I accept that. But you know what? That motherfucker's my homeless person, all right? And I want to support him. I want my tax money supporting them. That's what I want, guys. That's what I want. Am I wrong to say that? Am I wrong to say that? I don't know. Am I wrong to say that?
And it's bloody deadly if they're out there longer. These veterans are the ones who should be in this accommodation, being given free food and lodgings for their service to this country. But oh no, we give it to these bloody people. I fucking am so angry about this immigration issue. And this government have no fucking idea what to do. I don't care what the fucking Home Secretary is saying. She's doing nothing. Nothing's happening. They're still coming over in their fucking droves, and we're putting up with it and giving them everything. And I see another article this morning about we can't afford the triple lock for pensioners. Oh yeah, let's fucking rip into the fucking heart and soul of the British public. The pensioners, like me, who have worked hard all their life and still paying their council tax, still paying their income tax, and nobody gives a shit. It's fucking terrible. I find it appalling, and I am so angry about it, and I just wish I could wave a magic wand and settle this problem. I've told you regarding these illegal immigrants that are coming in, and remember, they are illegal. They're coming over illegal without any documentation because they throw them away, because they fucking bullshit the authorities. And we're so fucking generous here in the UK. Not to our own people, they don't matter, but to these people. How fucking dare they do this? Well,
So there we have it, guys. I just thought I'd share that with you guys for no particular reason. Then I think he encapsulates the mood very well of everybody in the United Kingdom. I think that's what I think that's how they're rolling now, guys. Okay, so let me just jump onto this. So, look, guys, I'm just noticing quite a few people have just joined on YouTube. So, listen, guys, if you're just joining for the first time on YouTube, I am gonna go through now, and I've not done it, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna go with. I don't know what I'm gonna find, but I'm gonna go through now the official media release from hmgov.uk, which is at www. I don't think I'm allowed to say websites while I'm on TikTok, but this is literally from the government's own website now. This is what I'm going from. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. I will keep jumping over, guys. In fact, I need to put that on a different. You know what? Am I going to put that on a different screen? You know what? I'm going to go through this. I'm going to read it word for word. I don't often do this, although I have done this a few times, but I want everybody to understand what the government, the dastardly plan. Okay, so let's continue. Biggest overhaul of legal migration model in 50 years announced. Okay, so straight away from the get-go, just so you all know, just so you guys all know that all this pomp and pageantry, it's bullshit. Do you know why it's bullshit? Because I'm not bothered about legal migration. I'm bothered about illegal migration. I'm bothered about thousands of men turning up on our shores every day, and they get given hotels and food and potentially 25 grand if they're asked to leave. So straight away, they're starting it. And if you've not seen this, guys, this is you really need to understand that all this story is all related to legal migration, okay? However, illegal migrants and arrivals reliant on benefits face waiting between 20 and 30 years to settle, the toughest in Europe. Okay, so straight away, do we think these migrants that are coming over, and I shouldn't call them migrants because it's not the right word to use, but I can't think of a better one. Do you think the invaders are but I think that's rude. I think saying invaders is rude as well. And it is rude. I'm just going to go with migrants. You guys know what I'm talking about. So with this new document, with this new legislation, they're saying they have to wait 20 to 30 years to settle. Now, do you think they're here, they're coming over to settle, or just for free stuff? Like, if you're paying someone, you're paying for their food, you're paying for their accommodation, you're paying for their medical care, you're paying for their transport, you're paying for their balloon lessons. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter? You know, I would say that settling is bad because they'd have to get a job and they wouldn't get free stuff given to them. So the biggest shakeup on the legal migration system in nearly half a century will be launched today, designated to reward those who contribute and play by the rules. Days after announcing the most sweeping reforms to tackle illegal migration in decades, the Home Secretary outlines a major shift in the profile of legal migrants that will prioritize those who contribute to the economy and play by the rules. Right now, guys, I don't want anyone. I just want to close the borders and I want everybody to go home. The party's over. And, you know, I was seeing something on the, let me just highlight that a second. Is it that one? Yeah, that one. I watched something today on the news and it was saying how many migrants work in the NHS. But it wasn't a good thing. It was Rupert Lowe. What he was saying is, you know, so Rupert Lowe's opened this thing, and it's like a whistleblower's hotline or something. And if you want to whistleblow on the government, you can tell Rupert Lowe. I don't know what it is exactly. But he was saying that the amount of NHS workers who've contacted him saying, look, people who are working in the NHS, doctors, nurses who are not from the United Kingdom, who are, you know, migrants, it's a big problem. They don't speak English. The doctors are not competent. And they're questionable. They've got their doctor's degree from questionable academic institutions. I'll say the least. And what I think is the reality here is when people say, "Oh, if migrants leave the United Kingdom, it will collapse, it will be bad." And I'm like, do you know what? I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that. Absolutely fine. Because you know what? I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure that it won't. But, you know, there's a lot of sad things happening. Oh, Katie Nana is saying a foot of snow fell yesterday, which started to thaw and has frozen. Right. Katie Nana, where are you? Katie Nana, where are you? Where is Katie Nana? So Katie Nana on YouTube is saying a foot of snow fell yesterday. Can you imagine being homeless? Can you imagine being homeless and a foot of snow in the, I can only imagine, Katie, that you're in like the northern tip of Scotland or something. You know, I can only imagine you're in the northern tip of Scotland. You know what? Actually, it was snowing earlier. We did get snow earlier on today. There was a slight film on the cars when I went out. Hang on. Yeah. Look, Katie's hit the nail on the head here. A foot of snow fell yesterday, which started to thaw today and has now frozen. Real feel is -4, and the uninvited, I think that's a good word actually, uninvited, are toasty warm with full bellies. Right, you're starting to trigger me, guys. You guys know how to trigger me. Besides struggling families and pensioners. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And look, ladies and gentlemen, like sometimes, like I don't think people have faith in the younger generation. I do. I have a lot of faith in the younger generation. I've spoke about this lots of times. If you guys want to, you guys on TikTok, if you guys want to go back through my posts last year, I've got a fantastic orange shirt on. I was talking about a golden generation. And what I said is, if you're, and it was something I didn't see. I've never seen it before. So what I'm talking about is I went to the protests in Rotherham that turned into riots. And I saw a demographic that I never thought I would see. Young men, about, 16 and under, they were wild. They were furious. They had this rage inside them, this rage, like a real rage. Let me ask you guys this question, all right? Kids that are growing up now, you know how people say that, like, Gen Z or whatever? Gen Z are going to make us proud, guys. I promise you, Gen Z will make us all proud. Remember this comment right now. Gen Z will make us proud. They're going to make everyone proud. Sorry. Can you imagine now, like, if you're 16 years old and, do you know what, not even 16, if you're 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, younger, and you're seeing your mum and dad go to work, because kids are not stupid. You're seeing your mum and dad go to work and you're listening to the conversations they're talking about, struggling about bills, about eating, mum and dad missing meals to put food on the table. And you're seeing that. And you're also seeing these migrants in the hotels. Nom, 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 nom. Come on, Susie, wrap up tonight. We're going to turn the heating off so we can have it on over Christmas. Do you think that's not happening in the United Kingdom, guys? Think about that. Do you think right now in the United Kingdom, people are not tucking their kids up saying, come on, Susie, tuck up tonight. We'll put you an extra blanket on because we want to have the heating on over Christmas. Do you think people are not saying that to their kids right now? Maybe they're not called Susie, but I would say they are, absolutely. And then these same kids who are getting tucked up, we're remembering tucked up, they're walking to school. Maybe they're walking past the hotel and they're hearing things shouted at them from the hotel, and they're looking and all the windows are open and they're all laughing and having parties and doing the dancing thing. What do you think those kids are going to be when they're 40? Absolute fucking monsters. Absolute monsters. They are going to be monsters, guys. All right. So I don't, when people say the younger generation, this generation, Generation Z, or whatever they're calling it, if you're 16 and under, I don't even know what that is. Listen, guys, I was talking about this long before. So that look, this is all part of fourth turn in its type of water crisis phase, and that's where we're heading into right now. Right, let me get some chat, guys, and then I'll continue. Right, listen, you guys who are watching on TikTok, all right, I do apologize. I don't know how to get the chat working. I really don't. I think what I'll do tomorrow for you guys, I will do it as I used to do. So I'll change it around, and that way I can have the chat on. I hope that'll work tomorrow. But if you guys want to jump over onto the chat, I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on X. The chat's open. I'm a Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. Zaria is saying, I say it very clear what's happening. We shouldn't be second guessing what we're seeing. No, I agree. James is saying, why are there so many locals in Birmingham putting on TikToks of why there is crap sofa mattresses thrown anywhere? They can't understand why. Look, guys, we all know that Birmingham's already fallen. Birmingham's gone. It's diddly swan. It's down the pan. just like forget about Birmingham now, guys. Forget about London. Forget about Birmingham. Forget about Manchester. Andy Yorks is saying, do you think it is deeply suspicious that Shabina calls Muslims my people and then announces visa restrictions on 3 countries, all of which have a majority Christian population? Yeah, so I think she's talking about, what was it? DRC. Was it DRC, Eritrea, and maybe Nigeria? I can't remember. It's Central African countries. Right, guys, there's so much on the chat today. I'm going to just jump. I'm just going to jump to the bottom and try and. There's so much chat. Right, okay. I think we're talking about doctors. Donna Hook is saying Russian missiles devastating Ternopil. USA tells Ukraine to surrender. One News reports. Yeah, I don't. You see, the problem. Well, it's not a problem. The reality of the situation on the ground in Ukraine is, if Zelensky came out tomorrow, if Zelensky came out tomorrow and said, right, lads, we're going to surrender. We're just going to, we're going to fucking call this. We're going to call this a day. We've been beaten. They would still fight on. The military in Ukraine is not comparable. The military in Ukraine, hang on, guys. The military in Ukraine is not comparable to the military in the West. They have totally different ways of doing things, and they have totally different systems. And I would say they are worse systems, but they're the ones fighting a war. They're not me. So I'm not gonna tell someone who's doing something how to do something when they're clearly doing it. What I've said many times is, look at the situation on the ground in Ukraine. The Russians are taking more ground daily. It's literally a daily occurrence now. My previous estimates were that the Russians were taking 20 square kilometers per day. Now, I know that doesn't sound much spread over that front line, but they're not losing. It's just constant drive. Right, guys, listen, let me continue with this, guys, okay? Because I do want to get onto this, what's been happening in the United Kingdom with the biggest overhaul in the migration, biggest overhauls of what? So Andy Yorks is Andy. Right, Andy? I'm going to take you at face value for this, mate, because I want to get on to the other stuff. Andy Yorks is saying Sheffield schools are being supplied with bleed kits. This is a complete madness that is necessary. I saw some rape pants. That girls are supposed to wear now. Is that where we are? Are we going around all these? Are we trying to go around all these solutions? So, if you're in the military, if you're a doctor, if you're trying to stop a bleed, all right, putting a plaster on a bleed will not stop it. If it's a bad enough bleed, it's not going to stop it, all right? You need to get into that wound, you need to get your hands dirty, and you need to stop that bleed at source. Putting a bandage on top of a bandage, on top of a bandage, on top of that's where we are right now, guys, all right? We've got a catastrophic bleed, and we're just putting bandages on top. I think that's a better example, actually, than my, how I say, how I keep saying that I give you guys this analogy of here in the United Kingdom, we are like a car with all the engine warning lights on, and we keep going and changing our wheels our tires, every 4 years. I think this is a better analogy. Imagine you've got a really bad bleed and it's like, really bad, it's going, right? And every time you vote, you just put another bandage on. You're not really doing anything to the bleed. You're just putting another bandage on and you're like, yeah, I'm still bleeding, mate. You've just got a bandage on top and it looks okay for a couple of like, yeah, blood's coming through again. Yeah, we're good. All right, okay, what are we going to do? Right, we'll use another bandage. Okay, right, okay, yeah, it stopped. No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done a lot of advanced trauma management, probably more. I don't want to sound like, you know what, I don't even care. I've done more trauma management than probably your head trauma surgeons in most hospitals. I have. I've done trauma. I've done advanced trauma management at levels that are. Can you guys remember when Charlie Kirk got assassinated and I talked you guys through very detailed analysis of anatomy and how what you need to do to preserve that casualty? Where was I going with this? I don't know where I was going. With that. I was just telling myself I'm awesome. Right, listen, guys, I've got lots to get through. Let me oh yeah, and another thing, I'm just going to throw this out there, guys. I'm just going to throw you guys some red meat, okay? So while we're talking about overhauls to the migration system, I'm just going to throw this up on the screen, okay? Nearly 500 migrants a day now claiming benefits as Mahmoud, look at her there, look at her face. Doesn't she look lovely? I wonder what she's got in her little red book there. I bet she's got like a Mars bar shoved down the. Oh my God. I just noticed something. Do you think? I'm not going to say that. That's rude. But this is the article here, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 500 migrants a day now claiming benefits as Mahmoud prepares crackdown on welfare access. Statistics from the Department of Work and Pensions showed that. Are you sat down? Are you guys sat down? You need to be sat down for this, okay? Statistics showed that 14,451 migrants began claiming universal credit last month, which would be, what are we on? Are we on November? Yeah, so that would be October. Representing a daily rate of 472. Now, I was pretty sure, I was told that migrants couldn't do this. I was told migrants couldn't do that, but apparently, as per this article, they can. A record number of migrants are signing up for benefits each day. Well, of course they're going to sign up for benefits if they can get free money. That's not the story. The story should be, how can you sign up for benefits if you don't have a national insurance number? That should be the real question, no? Do you know what I will do tomorrow? Do you know what I'm going to do tomorrow, guys? And I may even do it live. I'm going to give myself a fake name, and I'm going to see if just how easy, that'd be fraud, wouldn't it? Okay, what I'm going to do tomorrow, on the live stream, I will go onto the website. I'll find out how you do it, and I will see if, obviously, I won't do it. I won't click like all the way through. Maybe I will. I don't know. And I'll use the word. I'll use the name Shabana Mahmoud, and I'll just see how far I can get on that application process. A record number of migrants are signing up for benefits each day. Official figures show Shabana Mahmoud prepares. Yeah, we've done that. Here we are, guys. See this picture? All this stuff here needs to be destroyed. Foreign nationals will only be granted indefinite leave to remain if they can support themselves without claiming welfare. So they're not going to get given it, so they're going to continue to get free stuff. Right, I'm going to jump back onto the official thing, guys, because this is just LBC talking about what I'm going to speak about in a minute. Andrea Fenton is saying, looks like government are giving them national insurance numbers, which means they are here to stay. Right, Andrea Fenton, where have you got that information from? Andrea Fenton, can you send me that information if you find it somewhere? Because I don't know if that's the case. Look, guys, I'll be quite honest. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. But if they do have, if they do have national insurance numbers, that is wild. Maybe they've got like an emergency, like a temporary. The temporary, like how they're going to take migrants out of the hotels and put them in temporary accommodation. What do we mean temporary? 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 years? What does that word temporary mean? Right, sorry, guys. Okay, right. I'm going back now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the government's website now. If you was on the live stream earlier, if you guys were on the live stream earlier, I showed you this. I'm on whatever the government website is. And this is the government's press release, okay? I am going through it. So earlier this year, the government announced it would double the permanent settlement qualifying period for migrants to 10 years, with reductions for those making strong contributions to British life. So basically, what I'm reading there is, if you smuggle yourself into the United Kingdom and you can stay on the run for long enough, you become British. That's what I'm reading there. I don't think it matters, because what I keep saying is, these people that are coming over on the boats, do you think they want to actually settle? Or do you think they just want like a hotel and a bit of a holiday? I would say it's the latter. The changes will apply to almost 2 million migrants who arrived in the United Kingdom. Jesus Christ. Yeah, these numbers are far worse than we even imagined, guys, okay? So let me read this again. Jesus. All right, okay. You know how I say on the live stream, right? I say on the live stream, it's not the information that they tell you. It's the information that's implied that they don't tell you. So here we are. So I'm just going to read this. The changes will apply to almost 2 million migrants who arrived in the UK from 2021. So that to me says that a minimum of 2 million migrants arrived in the United Kingdom since 2021. Is anyone else doing that maths, guys? Is anyone else doing that maths? So what's the numbers since 2020? What's the numbers since 2019, 18, 17, 16? Like, what are these numbers, guys? How many people do we have in the United Kingdom that shouldn't be here? Because what I'm hearing here is 2 million since 2021. Subject to consultation or transitional arrangements for borderline cases. It will not apply to those with existing settled status who have made their lives here. So basically, if you go out and knock someone up, you're going to stay. That's it. You're going to stay. Low paid workers, such as the 616,000 people and their dependents who came on health and social care visas between 22 and 24, would be subject to a 15-year baseline. The route was closed earlier this year following widespread abuse. For the first time, it can also be revealed there will be penalties for immigrants exploiting the system. Oh, so previously there were no penalties. Maybe it was even encouraged. The reforms will make Britain's settlement system by far the most controlled and selective in Europe. Remember, guys, this is talking about legal migration. This is totally separate to the people turning up on boats that are asylum seekers. So while everybody's looking at this and thinking, oh, yes, that's great. Yes, 20. No. Look, guys, the beginning of this, it says the biggest overhaul of legal migration model in 50 years. So I'm assuming that this is for legal migrants. Here they are. They're throwing it in there, guys. They're throwing it in. Illegal migrants and visa overstayers would have to wait 30 years to settle. Again, I don't think people really want to settle in the UK. I think people are coming to the United Kingdom because they get a hotel and free food. And I'll be honest with you guys, you know, if I was a single guy, no kids, and one of my mates phoned me up and said, Sean, fancy going over to Saudi and get on this free dinners gig? I'd be like, what do you mean? He said, well, if we get on we go to Saudi, it's a bit of a lad's adventure. We get like a hotel and they give you a bit of money and like they give you dinners and that. And it's, you know, and then when we don't like it, we'll just come back home and they give you 30, between 20 and 30 grand. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'm up for that. The reforms will build a fairer immigration system for British people while doing the right thing by migrants who have made their lives here and contribute to the United Kingdom economy. See, I'm not bothered about legal migrants, guys. I'm really not. You know, I'm not. No, I'm going to say it. I'm not. We have big problems, and they are, and these things are causing problems. You know, we have little Pakistan and little Bangladesh, and they are problematic. But right now, the big problem is stopping the boats. Home Secretary Shabina Mahmood said, migration will always be a part of Britain's story, but the scale of arrivals in recent years has been unprecedented. Yeah, stop giving them money then. To settle in this country forever is not a right, but a privilege. I don't know. It kind of like feels like that we're letting anyone in, and it must be earned. I don't believe a word anybody says, guys. Honestly, I don't believe a word anybody says in the government right now. I am replacing a broken immigration system with one that prioritizes contribution, integration, and respect for the British sense of fair play. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? They're going to prioritize integration. I could take you to parts of Bradford and like I could take it like Shabina Mahmood and walk around parts of, I'm sure she's been herself, you know, walk around parts of Bradford and say, where's the integration here, Shabina? Like, we have got second, third generation British Pakistanis who don't speak English. Tell me where the integration is, Shabina. Like, where is the integration? Respect for the British sense of fair play. It's just all swizzle at the moment, guys. It's all swizzle. I don't believe a word that these people are saying. Absolutely zero. Elizabeth Dyer, 4409. Hello, Elizabeth Dyer, 4409, is saying, I wish I could just do more. I always give cash to homeless, but I want to give them permanent support. Yeah, I saw this myself today. You know, I know I just said this, but I was walking in Asda. I was getting like the two pizzas for £5, and it's really starting to it's really starting to grate on me now, especially when the weather. You know what? Let me see if it's snowing. Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah, I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, we have snow. Yeah, we've got snow, ladies and gentlemen. We have snow. I'm thinking about these homeless people now. I'm genuinely thinking about these homeless people, you know. You can't imagine what they're going through. Like, imagine it, right? You come from, for whatever reason, you found yourself homeless. You know, you've never imagine, guys. For whatever reason, look, guys. People don't realize you're only like three bad. Everybody, like. you, me, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, we are only 3 bad decisions away from being homeless. Think about this now, guys, okay? For whatever reason, you're homeless. Maybe you had an abusive dad. Maybe you had an abusive mum. Maybe they were addicted to drugs and you needed to get out there. You fell on bad times and you're homeless. And this has happened to you as a young child. And you're now on the streets and it's snowing. And you're watching, like I was telling you about the video I saw the other day of I couldn't find it. There was somebody sleeping in the doorway of a migrant hotel, and an African migrant stepped over him to get into his hotel. What the fuck, guys? What the absolute fuck did our granddad storm that beach at Normandy for? Oh, Daniel Bandagain is saying, Sean, I never recommend on the other channels. Today, Dino Bain made the most important video ever. Made names. Right, I'll have to have a look at that. I will have to have a look at that. Right, look, guys, I'm just conscious of the time. Let me get on to this because I do want to go through every part of this word for word. So we are talking, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, you guys on TikTok, yes, you guys on TikTok, I'm going to close you guys down now. You've not done anything wrong. Danielle, Woo Woo, Adam427, and Jizzy Garden. Okay, some fantastic names on TikTok. Tony King, actor. Well, Tony King, actor, what are you acting? So you guys on TikTok, I'm going to close you guys down now for 2 reasons. One, I get restricted all the time on TikTok. I want to open up a little bit more on YouTube, on the YouTube gang. So what I'm going to do is I'll close you guys down now on TikTok. I'll get carbonated drinks. I love my carbonated drinks. I do love a carbonated drink, ladies and gentlemen. I do. I'm not going to lie. If you want to jump over to YouTube, guys, on the Real Raven 1 on YouTube and on the Real Raven 1 on X, and I will be continuing this live stream over there. I need to do it there. And if not, ladies and gentlemen, on TikTok, I bid you good evening. Right, they're off. They are off. Right, so we're talking about criminality now. So criminality in the migrant system coming into the United Kingdom. So the Home Secretary, Shabina Mahmood, has made clear migrants should have a clean criminal record if they wish to settle. Work will take place to consider the precise threshold at which this is applied, building on rules announced earlier this year to reduce the deportation threshold. So it's bullshit. So look, guys, the reason I'm doing this, because I want you guys to understand. They're trying to cloak and dagger you. They're trying to what's it called? They're trying to switch and bait and switch you. So now people are going to be reading this and they're going to be thinking, oh, right, Shabina Mahmood is saying, yeah, anybody with a criminal record, well, yeah, good. What about all the thousands of people that are throwing their passports in the water before they get here? Like, how are you going to do a criminal record check of those people? So all this is in regards to legal migration. Reductions for contribution. Right, I'm going to skip that bit, guys. I'm going to skip that bit. I just want to get all the meat of this. Do you know what? I'm not going to skip it. I'm going to go through it. Okay, so reductions for contribution. Immediate family members of UK citizens and Hong Kong will retain their existing five-year pathway to resettlement. Five-year pathway for skilled frontline public service workers. I'm just going to read it. Migrants on global talent or innovator founder visas for at least 3 years could have to wait 3 years for settlement. Our 7-year reduction on the 10-year baseline. Migrants making national insurance contributions will receive settlement after 10 years, but higher. Do you know what I'm reading this, guys? Okay, I'm reading this is going to... give me a second. Migrants making national insurance contributions will receive settlement after 10 years, but higher and additional rate taxpayers will benefit from reduced periods in recognition of their contributions. Migrants could also receive a discount for integration. This includes speaking English. Fucking hell. So we didn't even think about that, did we? So all of that stuff I've previously said, apart from the last point, you don't have to speak English. But if you do speak English, you know, you will get a discount. So what I'm reading into this now is, this is making the United Kingdom uninvestable. Absolutely uninvestable. And I don't particularly think that's a bad thing that we're uninvestable. In fact, if anything, I think we should get every penny of foreign investment out of the United Kingdom. Every penny, it needs to go. But can you imagine, right? You are for whatever reason, you say, right, do you know what? You've got a couple of million to spare. And you're like, right, you know what? I've got to spare a couple of million. And what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the United Kingdom. I'm looking at how they're investing heavily in the war in Ukraine. I want to go over to the United Kingdom and I want to make a factory. I want to start a factory building drones or whatever. I don't know. They're going to look at this and think, nah, I'm good. But you know what? This does not stop. None of this stops anyone from getting on a boat and coming over and getting their 3 meals a day. The Home Secretary has previously set out preconditions for gaining settlement. Nobody fucking wants settlement. They want free dinners, they want free dinners, free hotels, and free stuff. Under the current system, where am I going with this? Under the current system, settlement is typically granted with few conditions after 5 years, which allows access to public funds. This includes those who arrived on economic routes, including skilled worker visas, as well as. So if you've been in the United Kingdom for 5 years, as I understand this here, you know, I think they're saying where is it? Under the current system, under the current system, if you're in the United Kingdom for 5 years, whether you speak English or not, you're automatically British. Citizenship can be granted a year later, but bestows few additional benefits. Restricting benefits to British citizens only would mean those granted settlement after meeting tougher conditions would not be automatically entitled to public funds. Nobody cares. To earn citizenship, migrants first need to pass the Life in the UK test and pay additional fees. So why would you bother? Why would you bother coming to the United Kingdom now? You wouldn't, you know, and this is all, it's all honest. I've only got a couple of more sentences. As announced earlier this week in the asylum reforms, recognized refugees who came to the United Kingdom legally will now be subject to a 20-year period. What does that mean? Refugees will still retain their eligibility for public funds subject to the stricter conditions set out in the asylum statement Monday. The earned settlement model was unveiled as part of the government's immigration white paper. Bit racist calling it a white paper. Shouldn't it just be like a generic paper? To restore order and control to the immigration system, it will be based upon 4 core pillars: character, integration, contribution, and residence. What a load of bullshit, guys. Absolute biddly swizzle. Remember, right at the beginning is the first bit on this, guys, okay? The biggest overhaul of legal migration. I don't think people are that concerned, although it is a massive... Do you know what, guys? It is a massive problem. So I'm going to welcome this. But I think we're too far gone. And, whoa, I've just thought of something, actually. Let me get those numbers again. Okay. So 1, 2, on the 4th paragraph, it says, the changes will apply to almost 2 million migrants who arrived in the United Kingdom from 2021. Jesus Christ, this is fucking worse. Oh my God, this is worse. This is worse, all right? So I'm going to share this with you guys. Tell me I'm wrong. Can somebody please tell me I'm wrong, guys? Can please somebody tell me I'm wrong? Yeah, right. Okay. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong now. So this is the government. This is what I was working off, guys. Okay. This is from the UK.gov website. All right. Biggest overhaul of legal. That's the key there, guys, okay? Legal migration, all right? Legal. So they came with a visa or whatever. Legal migration, okay? That's what they're talking about, okay? And then down here on the 4th paragraph, the changes will apply to almost 2 million migrants who arrived in the United Kingdom from 2021. So is that the number of legal migrants that arrived in the United Kingdom since 2021? And then we've got the illegal migrants who arrived as an additional number on top of that? I think it is, guys. I think it is. Do you know what? Let me just ask Grok real quick. Let me ask Grok real quick. Have I got Grok open? There we are. Right. Yeah, he's not giving me a conclusive answer. Caveats. Yeah. Yeah, he's put, okay, I'm going to have to do some digging on that, guys, because, yeah, the number he gave doesn't make any sense. But from what we've just seen there, I don't know, guys. I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that. I don't always get things right, and I never mean to mislead. From what I've just read there, that seems like we've got 2 million legal migrants came to the United Kingdom since 2021. Do you think that number's sustainable? I don't know. And then we've got as far as I'm concerned anyway, and then we've got the additional illegal migrants, so visa overstays. I don't know, guys. And certainly boat migrants would be in that, would be in that that category, I guess. Right, let me get some chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get some chat. Emma Watts is saying a civil war, holy war is inevitable. Yeah, look, guys. You guys have been following me for, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are on right now, you've not done so already, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, share my stuff on your socials, and just give me a second while I get myself a carbonated drink. And you guys know what's coming, right? You guys know what's coming. So just a quick one, guys. Should I start doing tutorials on how with the taxes in the United Kingdom coming? Should I start doing tutorials on how you guys can make your own carbonated beverages? Oh, I need some carbon in this. I need some gas in this. Give me a second. You know, I think I'll get a pint out. And then I'm gonna have to put some pressure in it. Oh yeah, I've got a pint. Just. I don't know. I think I'm shaky here, guys. I'm shaky. Yeah, I've got a pint. Right, we're good. Vodka is easy to make. A tutorial on how to survive off grid. Well, when COVID came along, I started needing gin. Oh, Jesus. Sean, is it still snowing? I don't know. I'll have a look. Yeah, definitely. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We live right on the top of a hill. So we live on the top of a hill, so we always get the worst weather. Yeah, I think everybody's under the same. Everybody's under the same. You know. Andrea Fenton is saying they're coming over in plane loads on uncharted flights and not always flights from war-torn countries. I know this. This is all part of the New World system to remove borders. Yeah, it's all part of subversion, guys. Okay, it really is all part of subversion. You know, the Willow Fairy is saying, my 7-year-old granddaughter will not grow up thinking the sky is grey and she can be a unicorn. When people talk about, this, and I've had to stop a few people. I've had to stop a few people when they say that the young generation don't have what it takes. Like they're growing up, and humans are very resilient. We're a fantastic breed. And English and British, like the real British. I don't mean if you've got a piece of paper that says you're British too. I mean, like, if you're really British, and if you know you're really British. I'm not going to do Tim Davis, guys. I'm not going to do Tim Davis, but those people are very resilient, and they will rebuild, they will restructure, and they will emerge victorious. Emma Watts is saying, please, we need our army. They are committing treason. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, if you're new to this channel, one of the things that I always say on this channel is we do not have a legal framework to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. We do not. Not even remotely. In the United States, they have the Second Amendment, which gives them the ability to form militias, and those militias can oppose the government if the government is deemed to be a tyrannical government. Now, then the next argument would be, what is a tyrannical government? But here in the United Kingdom, guys, everybody's going on these protests and these marches, and they're trying to pass this legislation and that legislation. None of it matters. It's all smoke and mirrors. The one thing that we need right now, we have gone beyond. Here in the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, we have gone beyond, far, far, far beyond. What is it? We are a galaxy far, far. What is it? Is it a galaxy far, far away? I saw the advert for Conan the Barbarian today. It jumped up on my feed, and that music is badass. But yeah, we have no real ways of, like, if you guys want to go to ChatGPT or Grok or whatever and say, how can people in the United Kingdom legally oppose the government or a tyrannical government, whatever, it'll give you the same answer. It will say, legally, you can vote. Well, what if the elections are rigged or both sides are working to a uniparty? All right, that's not. How's that voting thing working out for anyone? You can vote, you can peacefully protest, and you can write to your local MP. Does anybody feel we need more than that? Does anybody feel we need just like a teensy bit more? You know, and to all these guys who are going out to France this weekend. So I don't know if you guys know, there's a load of guys, there's a load of people going out to, this is how bad it is now in the United Kingdom, all right? This is how bad it is. We are paying migrants, illegal migrants who failed their asylum cases. We are going to be paying them. So Shabina Mahmood was on the TV earlier and she didn't give a number, but she said it was going to be in line with Denmark. Now, Denmark is paying 27,000 euros for people to leave, okay? So let's just call it 25,000 euros because it'll be easier. It's easier to do Raven maths, but we know the number is going to be higher. So that's where we are right now. The government are proposing around £25,000 to migrants for them to leave the United Kingdom, all right? At the same time as that's happening, we have British men saying goodbye to their families for the weekend, getting on a ferry to France to try and cut boats up. Like, are they going to get paid? Like, if you think about it, how many people can you get on a boat? Like, how many people? I don't know, 50, 100? I genuinely don't know. You see where I'm going, right? You know, should those guys get paid? Like, should those guys get paid because they've stopped those migrants coming? We can't go down this road, guys. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It is not sustainable. Financially, at some point, the money coming in ain't going to reach the money going out. Banned again. Oh my God, 500 every night in Birmingham. That's what are we talking about? What's happening in Birmingham? Jane Hughes is saying we've got a Palestine protester yet again kicking off. Hasn't the war finished? 45 arrested, need to get a grip. I've not seen this, guys. I've not. Look, you know, these people are useful idiots. They are useful idiots. For those of you guys who was on the live stream last night, we was talking about, I was sharing with you guys an Yuri Bezmenov video, and he was saying these useful idiots, they're only useful in the time of destabilization. As soon as the destabilization's over, those guys will be rounded up like in Iran 1988. And you know what? I'm gonna share with you guys. Okay. Right, here we are. So I'm just going to read this, guys. Okay, so this is from Wikipedia. 1988 executions of Iranian political prisoners. The exact number killed is unknown, but estimates by some human rights organizations say that at least 5,000 people were killed. Other sources, such as the United Nations General Assembly, say that 30,000 political prisoners were massacred. Women and children were among those executed. So it turns out when the Persians let the Islamists take over, the Islamists went, oh, okay, are we in charge now? Yes, right, 30,000, see you later. You don't think that's coming to the United Kingdom? You know, I keep saying this, you know, everything's fine until it's not. And these things happen quick. They always happen quick. It's the only way they can happen. James Brooke is saying, Russian ship off Scotland. Word on the street is it's a spy ship and it's possibly locating our underwater cables. No cables and no internet or international banking. So the most of the cables, so under the water, there's like loads of like freaky shit. Oh look, guys, I do air stuff. My area of expertise is in the air, but I do know what happens under the water. So under the water, you have like series of sonars, listening devices, and they can locate and see where things are. So submarines and stuff. Also, under the water, you have a lot of underwater cables, fiber optic cables. Like you have big ones that go like from the United Kingdom to Ireland, Ireland to America. These things are huge, all right? Fiber optic cables laid under the ocean, sea. Is it ocean? The Atlantic. Now, these are well known and these are easy targets. So whether they're going to cut those cables or not, I don't think it matters. What I think matters is they are also looking for where the listening devices are and where the sonar devices are. Because if you know where the listening devices are and where the sonar devices are, and then US troops storm Mexican beach. What? Sorry, let me. Okay, so right, guys. This is 53 minutes ago. U.S. troops storm Mexican beach. All right, as Google is saying. I'm just going to read this. I'm getting this for the first time. U.S. troops storm Mexican beach after Trump's bomb threat. After Trump's tensions. After Trump's bomb threat. After Trump tensions erupt. U.S. Pentagon has issued a statement. Troops stormed the beach. U.S. troops have invaded a beach in Mexico just days after seemingly threatened to bomb the country. After Donald Trump, seemingly threatened to bomb the country. They arrived on Monday, 17th of November, and drove 6 signs into the sand before Mexican security was alerted. The unidentified men who were reportedly U.S. contracts. Right? Okay. So, all right. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So it's not what we're thinking. Northwest Mexico by boat, although the exact location was not being confirmed. A video on social media shows a building as Baghdad. The signs they planted read "Warning: Restricted Area" in English and Spanish. They also stated that there was Department of Defense property and that unauthorized entry is prohibited. So I don't know. According to the Daily Mail, a local security rushed to the scene on trucks mounted with machine guns. The Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs has since confirmed that the Navy removed the signs. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has admitted that the men were mistaken on landing on the beach located in Rio Grande, a river which originated. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. I think this. Okay. I think this is. Well, it's clearly the headline is true. Okay. The headline is true. So what I think's happened here, you know what? I'll tell you what has happened. U.S. troops or contractors have gone over the Rio Grande and wrote something on the sand that sounds grand. The article is very. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't think we're not talking about U.S. troops in amphibious landing craft storming the beach. We're talking about a few guys going over there and writing some stuff on the ground. Lisa's saying there's a yellow warning for snow, ice, and thunder. What the fuck is thunder snow? What is thunder snow? Wasn't that a song by Katy Perry? Across the UK, 25 centimeters to fall in Yorkshire. I'll keep you guys updated. Andrea Fenton again is saying, what's the crack with Palestine right now? We safe from war in Iran. Sean, you said American boots on the ground in Iran. Yeah. So the way things are heading right now is the United. You can see this. All right. Let me take that down, Andrea, just because it's like covering me up, and I want to do. I want to use my hands to animate things. So I've done lots of videos about this. So the United Kingdom are going to be taking the lead. You know what? Actually, it may actually be Germany. It may actually be Germany. I saw a funny meme earlier. Sorry, I'm sidetracking. So the United Kingdom and Europe are going to fight a war with Russia in Ukraine. The United States with Israel is going to go into the Middle East, and they're going to have a tear up there. Iran is the main instigator, guys. Okay, Iran. If you so I don't know if you was on the live stream yesterday, but I shared a video of a woman who used to live in Iran, and what she was saying is Persians are not Arabs. They think differently, and I agree. You know, I was in the army with the Persian guy. He was a really solid guy, actually, really solid, really fit. Surprisingly fit, because he was a little bit portly, but he was really fit. His name was Sean as well. So Persians are not Arabs, and Arabs are not Persians. Now, I would say that because of the massacres in 1988, there's a lot of resentment in Iran, and I think those Persians will at some point want to overthrow the government. Meghan Markle announces a Netflix Christmas special on GB News. Oh, I'm just looking forward to Stranger Things coming out on a week today. Is it a week? Is Stranger Things a week today, guys? I think Stranger Things is a week today. Hang on. Thunder snow is thunderstorms in the snow. Give over. Thunderstorms. I have never heard of thunder snow. Googlito is saying Trump demands arrest of Dems who told troops to refuse illegal orders. To refuse illegal orders. I don't know how an order can be an illegal order, because it's either an order or it's not. It's kind of like being pregnant. You can't be a little bit pregnant. Oh yeah, I'm just a bit pregnant today. It's either an order and you do it, or it's not. There's no such thing as an illegal order. Silly Gallardi is saying there is no such thing as Palestine. It does not exist. Russian forces have captured Ukraine's Kupiansk. Top military official tells Putin. Well, let me just check on the news. Let me see if what's happening. Yeah, these weather warnings are coming thick and fast, aren't they? Sorry, guys, give me a second. Right, okay. So, right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna run through, because I'm looking at the time and I do want to get it right. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on right now, I will not be back on to. I will not be on in the morning. I've got a call that I can't. I've got a call that I can't delay and I can't clash, so I won't be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I will be on at some point though tomorrow. I'll be on at some point tomorrow. Oh, hang on a minute. Pestle and Mortar is saying, I've witnessed a thunderstorm with snow once. Very bizarre. Very bizarre, I'm assuming that is. Nick GB is saying thunder snow is the effect from weather modifications. Look, guys, I'll be quite honest with you. Until like 30 seconds ago, or whatever it was, I had never heard of thunder snow. But listen, I'm not going to lie. It sounds pretty fucking cool. And I want some thunder snow. I feel I should be thunder snow. Raven. Do you know what? Bullshit. I'm gonna call myself. Do you think my name, if I was a Viking, hear me out, guys, okay? Hear me out. I probably had too much cider. Hear me out, right? If I was a Viking, and I'm not, although I know I'm just, I've probably descended from Ragnar the Great. If I was a Viking, do you think Raven Thunder Snow would be a fucking awesome name? Raven Thunder Snow. That is fucking awesome. I'm writing that down. Give me a second. That is fucking awesome. Is that not the most badass thing you've ever heard? Raven Thunder Snow. Raven Thunder Snow. I'm having it. I'm having it. I may even change my channel to the real Raven Thunder Snow. People need to be more badass. I go to the gym, right? And it's not one of the muscle gyms. I get it. It's like the lowest, it's like the cheapest one. It's like I think it's like 16, it's like $15.99 a month or something. So, it's got everything I need in there, but I go to the gym and I honestly, I just see so much gym etiquette. Like if you're on the running machine, I've said this, like if you're on the running machine, right, and you're reading a book, you're not going fast enough. That's the truth, guys, right? I don't know who needs to hear this. If you're on a running machine and you're reading a book, you're not going fast enough. Likewise, if you're on a running machine and you're holding on to those things at the side and your legs are going, oh, you're going too fast. And I get it, I get it. People want to go and they want to walk and I get that, I get that. I do. I get it. You want to drive to the gym and then walk on the running machine. You guys pay your gym membership and you can do whatever you want with that stuff. Just give a thought, like if all the machines are full and you're walking, like you could just walk around the gym. You could just walk around the gym. And it was leg day for me yesterday. It was leg day. Sometimes I even do 2 leg days. And I really blasted my legs. I probably did like 1,000 reps or something. This morning I woke up and I was like, yeah, this ain't working. This ain't working. I'm in absolute agony. Like my calves, my arse, my gluteus maximus, my quadriceps, everything was hurting. I struggled to walk down the stairs. So I said to myself today, I said, right, when I go and train today, I'm not going to run. I'm just going to have a nice, easy session. So I got in, I saw the pull-up bar, I jumped on the pull-up bar, and I did 20 pull-ups. I did 20 pull-ups off the cuff. I'm not going to lie, probably my last 2 or 3, the form wasn't the best. I dropped down and I thought, yeah, I'm a fucking beast. I got on and I just thought, you know what? I'm here now. I'm going to absolutely blast it. And I had a fantastic session. So sometimes you just need to lie to yourself. Right, enough about me. Enough about me. Elizabeth is saying Palestine doesn't exist and has done for. Elizabeth is saying Palestine does exist and has done for a long time. It was all Palestine. Look at old maps. You see, look, guys, okay, here's the thing, all right? We can all argue about what something's called. I think what's more important is what that thing does, you know. So the area that we call Palestine, Gaza, the Gaza Strip, whatever you call that, it causes a lot of problems for a lot of people. Amir the Cricket is saying, on the roll of Knut the Great. I don't know. Oh, right. Okay, we're talking about Vikings. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down. Okay. I wanted to talk about what's coming here in the United Kingdom. You know, these new immigration laws or rules, whatever they're called. This only applies to legal migration. So you guys have got to understand that, all right? So when people are talking and saying, "Oh, well, we've done this, we're doing this," yeah, we're only doing that to legal migrants. We still have lots of people coming over on rubber dinghies every day. And those laws don't apply to those people because they're not legal migrants. They are illegal migrants, so they don't fall under this overhaul. We have got the budget next in the United Kingdom. And my advice to everybody right now, guys, okay? My advice to... Oh, Silly is saying, Sean, you must be a Viking. Check your DNA. Okay, so my family came to the United Kingdom. So my family were like real settlers. I saw this guy. He's the Muslim cleric from Birmingham. You guys have seen him, this Muslim cleric from Birmingham, and he's saying that Muslims are settlers in the United Kingdom. Let me just put everything to bed, guys, okay? Let me put all this to bed, all right? If you go to a country that has a democratically elected leader, a king, infrastructure, emergency services, medical facilities, a welfare system, McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King, Costa Coffee, I'm just putting it out there, you're not a fucking settler. You're not a settler. You're an immigrant. There's massive difference, all right? My family in the 11th century, you can trace my family coming from France in the 11th century. My family came from France in the 11th century. We were boat migrants. I'll give it, guys. We were boat migrants. We came over the water in the 11th century. We came to England and we settled in my family settled in North Yorkshire. All right. We had farms, we had, you can trace my lineage back to this. You know, we had farms, we had people working for us. We were working the land. We were building shit. We were going out there and chopping trees down, mining bricks, mining stones, building houses, doing shit. That's a settler. I'm a settler. My heritage is settling. I think, you know what, guys? I'm only just putting this together now. You know, some of the live streams I say to you guys, I feel like I need to be out there pushing boundaries. I need to be out there pushing, going further, seeing what's over the next horizon. Maybe that's just my family heritage come through. Right, listen, guys. I do apologise. I am going to close this down now. Remember, I'm not going to be on at the normal time in the morning because I've got a phone call I need to take. I can't get out of it. There's like different time differences. We're on different time zones, so I've got to take a call tomorrow morning. I don't know how long that call will be, but just let's all brace ourselves for the budget. So the budget is coming next week, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's Wednesday next week, so less than a week. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been fantastic. Some great comments. Lots of new people commenting as well, guys. Lots of new people commenting. If you've not done so already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share my stuff, guys, because I really do appreciate all that stuff. Anyway, guys, I am going to close this live stream down now. You guys have been fantastic. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at some point. Not my normal time, but I will definitely be back on tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I'll be on sometime tomorrow in the sometime in the day. And I bid you all good night, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, make sure you wrap up. Make sure everybody wraps up. Everybody get wrapped up in blankets. And if you can't afford to put the heating on, go and find your closest migrant hotel. I'm a dick. I know I am.